All right, grasshoppers. Excuse me, 10 o'clock on Thursday morning. I've got the hiccups. Man, a couple of days now I've had the hiccups and it's coming and going. I stopped. I went to the gym this morning, stopped, and I was back again. I don't know what's gone. Hiccups. That's funny. Morning, everybody. Starting to get a little warmer. Can't make up its mind. Sometimes it's 80, sometimes it's 30. Excuse me. I'm trying to have it to somebody's telling you can put your head up like this and look up and open up your throat, sipping cold water. My buddy at the gym, Jack, got it. Opens the door every Monday through Thursday. He said he's going to try to scare me. Yeah, right. Excuse me. Ira, how are you doing, you magical creature, you? Well, excuse me. Oh, gosh. Okay, so started right at 10 o'clock. So between 10:15 and 10:20, we should expect the sighting, the Tracy Marie sighting, the TM. Trademark, Tracy Marie. Excuse me. Oh, man. It's aggravating, especially to try to sleep. All right. All right, what's going on in the world? I see you're going to be out in the garden. I haven't been to the garden very much. They had me there a couple of times in 2 weeks, but they're really trying to incorporate a bunch of other younger players like Kevin Klein. Actually, we had Kevin Klein on our podcast. Interesting guy. I think that's when it came out yesterday. I got to check with Tom Smith, our producer of Full Chains podcast that you can listen to on all podcast platforms. Please like, share, and comment. Lorraine, how are you doing? Magical creature, you. There's Deb. Excuse me. Jeez. Deb and I was getting the book done. Big call tomorrow. Excuse me. It's all. Oh, there's a funny video of a little puppy, cute little puppy. He's got hiccups. He's mad. He starts barking when he gets the hiccups. He doesn't know what's going on. I'm going to start doing that too. That's right. I should be barking. Well, Pete Schaefer, how are you? Hope you're doing well. So I see the students are protesting, pro-Palestinian protesters at UCLA and Columbia and all over the place. Now the police have got to come in and excuse them, move them. I saw a couple of videos too where they're stopping other kids from going to class and all that. If you want to make a movement, if you want to, be involved in something, but don't make it so that other people can't do their stuff. Like when they block the roads and that, do they really think they're going to get support when they block the roads and people can't get to work and stuff? Hold my breath. Well, you want me to pass out, Deb? It's hard for me to talk so much when that's my problem. Isn't holding breath. That's what it is. Tom, how are your bowel movements? Ira wants to know. They're fine, thank you. Actually, very regular. A lot of coconut water. Find that really keeps me. Like I was doing that. What do you call it? The stuff before the powder you drink. I just don't think it's necessary. If you're eating properly, excuse me. Okay, I know, Deb. I was joking, but I will. When it goes down, I'll hold my breath until I pass out. Don't worry, I lose my hiccups one or the other. See here, UNC fat saves the American flag. That was awesome. Didn't see that. I did not see that. Excuse me. What are they going to burn their flag? Something's, man. I guess everybody has the right to protest the way they want. But somebody mentioned it too. Maybe it was Mark Puttenvik that the old video I saw recently again too of Monday, the baseball player, when two guys came on the field, like years ago, right in the 60s or something, came on the field and trying to burn a flag. And he ran by and stole it from him. Yeah, how about the Dallas Stars? Oh, they were down 2-0, lost the first two games at home. Another one the last three. Excuse me. Oh, how about? Okay, I'm not a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. Actually, I grew up. It's not that I don't like the team, but that makeup, Rick Monday in 1976. Thank you, William. So Austin Matthews. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. I think it was him and Marner and one other guy were arguing on the bench when they're losing to Boston 2 games ago. And then Matthews just decides he's not going to play anymore. Now, there's be something wrong. I don't know. So goes in and doesn't play the third period in a playoff game. And then didn't play last game and they won 2-1. And Susan's going to laugh at me here, but it's one of those cases, again, where a star player comes out of the lineup and then everybody else plays better, at least for the short term. So the short term works. I just don't like the makeup of that team at all. A talented team, man. It's you see they're whining on the bench like that at each other. Once in a while, listen, guys, like wake the f up or something like that. What's that happens? But they're sitting there whining and complaining to each other. Kind of says a lot about the makeup of that team, with the locker room. Is it true? Constant's on a hunger strike. Yeah, they're going to call it National Guard for them to eat. Excuse me. Well, wishes in 5 potential. Listen, there are going to be tight games, and when you have tight games, they can win in 5. They can win in 4. These games are going to be a lot more competitive than the Washington Capitals were. Carolina's a whole different team. Excuse me. I don't know if I get the hiccups or not, but so it'll be a lot better hockey. But listen, the Rangers are capable of playing better too. The good thing is they wanted 4. That's what they wanted to do. Rest as much as possible. When does it start? Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember if I heard that. Let me see. Excuse me. Were there any players who you played with that were cancer? Yeah, I'm not going to name obviously, but there wasn't many. I would say one for sure. In fact, he got traded to the team, and I talked to a guy later I played with that was on the team we traded for, but that he was on before, and he told me that they intentionally wanted him to go to the Rangers because they wanted to mess up the locker room. It was that bad. And then there's others that were. Listen, it depends on it too. It's like goaltenders, for instance, they better have a lot of confidence in themselves. And sometimes it's how a guy carries that confidence, right? There's sometimes even, and again, they're a unique position. They have to so zoned in. So once in a while, it wouldn't necessarily be the guy's a cancer. It's just that he has to concentrate on his job so much, which is separate from everybody else. Some guys handle it better than others, and sometimes just bad situations. Again, if you're not playing well, 2 guys get on each other because you're competitive. You want to win. I remember Rolly Melanson. We were out in L.A. Great guy. Him and I were friends. We traveled rinks together. We had a terrible game. We get in the locker room, and we were just ripping into each other. You stopped the effing puck, and I was wrong for my side of it, and he was frustrated. And some of those things after. But most cases like that, the guys go for a beer later on or laugh about it later. Guys get a kick out of it too. The guys, unless the guy's a bad guy and he's constantly doing that stuff, which Rolly Melanson was not that way. So, but there's some people, and and again, it's that leadership in the locker room means so much in hockey. I know I've said this before. Craig Berube came in and took over the St. Louis Blues when they won the Cup, and they were last place. And he was a total character player. And the first thing he said was, "We got to fix the locker room." Because a coach can't come in and make everybody pull in the same rope in the same direction. That's going to be the players, the leadership, the guys that, like the captain of the team, the assistant captain, the people. And it's important for not just the captains and the assistant captains, but the guys that are followers too. They have to follow. Everybody has to play the role. The leaders will lead, the followers will follow. It's not a broadcast. John Erickson, yeah, he's a good guy. I saw an interview, it's a couple of years ago. Mike Johnson does NHL games, he's a former player. And a player had gone out, they're broadcasting the game, I think in Montreal, got in a fight to try to get the rest of the team going. Excuse me. And the play-by-play guy asked Mike Johnson, does that ever work? And Mike Johnson said, no, it doesn't work. Well, that's more of a statement about Mike Johnson because it's your job to make it work. So the fighter goes out and fights, and you've got to follow up and make sure, okay, you recognize what he's done. And now we're going to his sacrifice, you get hurt, sit in the penalty box. So it really is incumbent on everybody doing their jobs. Goalie stopping the puck, hitters hitting, and then that leadership group and the people to follow. They really have to, the leaders have to be leaders, have to step up. They have to get everybody ready for every game. Coach can't come in and do it, especially when you're playing 82 games, preseason games and playoff games. Coach comes in. If it's expected that the coach has to come in and get the guys going, then you have the wrong locker room. The players have to get themselves. Coach just has to come in, make sure everybody knows what their assignments are, tendencies of the other team. Are we changing anything for tonight? Doing something different. Who's the starting goaltender? All that. But the player, he should just walk in that room. The guys are ready to go. And that again, that to the leaders and the followers too. So, and again, to be a follower, there's a lot of the guys that are followers in the National Hockey League probably captains or assistant captains on their teams coming up. Now all of a sudden that leadership has to, excuse me for the burping, or the hiccups. So the leadership really has to do their job, and people follow as well. So let me see. Yeah, I would think so. I don't think they change anything now when they're winning. But excuse me. It's kind of interesting because I really was high on. It's not over yet, but I was really high on Vegas. I thought they get Stone back in the lineup, but maybe that just doesn't work. It worked the one time for him where he missed the whole season, then come back and played and they won. But to do it again, wait, didn't they win when he came back? Yeah. Rolly the goalie, yes. But Chico Mesh. Excuse me. All right, what do we got here? Peter Schaefer? What does it have to come to? Why does it have to come to that? You should be pumped up. Yeah, I totally agree. But remember, these are human beings too. I know ideally, you shouldn't have, especially in playoff time, you shouldn't have to do anything. And again, they're pro players too, so they should be prepared. But they are human beings. And again, people say, geez, they're making $10 million a year, whatever it is. It really doesn't matter. I mean, you lose your confidence. And you do some. Who I think was John Muckler was quoted as saying that if you can get the best out of each player 75% of the season, then you're doing a pretty good job, because he just isn't always there. Injuries, and again, people have lives too. Kids at home, marriages, other stuff. Same thing everybody else at work. I think, again, some of the guys that I represented, I think the most like a Dallas Drake that I represented, he got the most out of his career. I can rarely remember many games where he just wasn't at his best. And it was easier for him too. Guys that are goal scorers, sometimes you just get cold and the puck's not going in the net for you. If you're a physical player like Dallas was, we can always hit. It's tough to get hurt. But yeah, Chico Mesh, Rughead. He made that comment when I scored a goal in the playoffs. He goes, "Oh, it was bad, especially that guy scored." Yeah, all right, scored on you, Civ. That's a bad rug he's got in his head too. Like the people who wear wigs, don't you think people around him that love him would say to him, "Listen, you need to get a better rug on your head there"? That's just doesn't look good. Same thing with Donald Trump with his hair. Like, doesn't people ever say to him, "Listen, there's other options. Other options to do with your hair." So what is our take? Oh, we're closing this 12 minutes, 13 minutes we've got going here. What's our take on all these kids, pro-Palestinian? And again, I'm not for kids. They can protest for what they want, against whatever they want. But I just don't like, again, you're not gaining any support by stopping other kids going to school or blocking the roads. Yeah, that was a surprising one. Not necessarily that they lost, but I don't know if they had 5 goals every game. Maybe a lot of changes. But they had a good season. And I hear you, Susan, when you say that. I guess, to me, if you think you've got a good team, which Winnipeg clearly had a good regular season, just because they lose in the playoffs, to me, I'm not necessarily just making changes because of that. Did I go into the playoffs thinking we weren't very good and we need to make changes? Then can't you? To me, that doesn't matter what happens in the playoffs. If you think you got a good team, you stick with it. But to lose in the playoffs and say, okay, now we got to change everything. Well, what were we doing during the regular season? If you really didn't think, if you really thought your team was good, why would you make changes? That's from a player's point of view. That's again, we talk about many times how great it was to play for the Rangers, but there's always change. Again, my first year, Freddie Shearer's fired. We had the big, tough physical team, do well, go to the semifinals. And then Herb came in, Herb Brooks, and he wanted a whole different team. So we went to the semifinals. So we're theoretically one of the top 4 teams in the league, at least that season. And then they make all the changes. And then now, so we become this whole different team. Speeder team, again, great team. Again, I said this before, where the 80-81 team for me was probably one of the best, played on with the Rangers. And the 84 team lost to the Islanders, although we lost. See, there's a good case. We lost the Islanders in the first round. And I don't think we should have changed hardly anything with that team. We had a great team, really good team. But there's always the pressure, I think, from ownership and fans that when you don't win, like to me, the Toronto situation, that's long overdue. Kyle Dubas, who's in Pittsburgh now, put that team together, and I just don't think he understands how to put a team together. It's one thing to just go and get a whole bunch of talented players, but the character in that team just really lacks. That scene the other night on the bench, and again, I'm sure that wasn't the first time either. The first time we saw it, and then Matthews. I mean, especially when they're playing against Boston, where they've had Patrice Bergeron play with punctured lung and broken ribs. And again, in fairness to Matthews, I don't know what's wrong with him, but to just go take a shower. I guess yesterday's morning skate or yesterday's game, he skated for a little bit and then went off. So again, who knows what's wrong with him? And typically, you should not disclose to anybody what your injuries are, or if you have any at all. But it just looked like there was more of a broken heart than any broken bones. That's unfortunate. What's going on in the world today? What's going on with the weather? Oh, I know what here's a topic that's got me going lately. I've done some research on organic foods. So Mark and I were debating this, like, why do organic foods cost more? And Mark said, well, they have to pay to prove that it's organic. So I did some research. Apparently, so you can't have used chemicals on your farm for 3 years. So they supposedly to clean the ground out, and then you pay the government licenses a bunch of agencies to go around and inspect the farms to make sure they're actually organic. Now, the farmers actually hire the agencies and pay them, which I think is a little bit of a conflict, isn't it? You're paying them. Excuse me. The guy says, okay, well, just pay me a little bit more and I'll make sure you're organic. And whether you're organic or not, I'll tell everybody you're organic. I thought it would get paid for by the government, because then, supposedly, you get more certainty that it is actually for real. That's my opinion. So Mark was right, because I thought, well, they're not doing it. I thought it was the FDA or somebody was coming in, or Food and Drug Administration, and making sure that they're organic, which I don't know. Herb changed a hard-nosed team to a finesse, yet smaller team. Yes. Although I will tell you this, though. I know we're smaller and more of a finesse team, but it was a bunch of gritty guys, too. So it wasn't like necessarily the guys like Chris Katsopoulos, Eddie Hosbar, guys like that. It was more like the Rob McClanahan's, Mark Pavages, Ray Slam, but guys still competed just as hard. Again, it was different, but yeah, they competed hard, those guys. They didn't back down. Again, that 84 team against a big, strong, physical Islander team. Oh, yeah, Steb mentioned this before, too. That also makes sense. There's not as much, but you don't think it is, like if you go into Costco, for example, now, a lot of stuff is organic. I don't know. Growing up on the farm, I don't know. I just think there's so many chemicals in our waters now and already in our foods. I don't want to influence other people, but I don't know if it's worth the extra cost. Excuse me. Aggravating having 6 hiccups. Oh, the cute little puppy though, he's got the hiccups and he's barking at himself. He can't figure it out. All right, so when do the Rangers start? Susan will know that. Or maybe Deb will know, or somebody will know. Rangers start Saturday or Sunday or going. So who's still left in? So Boston and Toronto are still going. Who else? Dallas at Vegas. Edmonton just beat LA, my other old team. I had some people talking today. Rob Blake, who's my old teammate, is the general manager there. A lot of people suggesting that they haven't won a playoff round in 10 years. I think I heard today on the news. And Rob Blake's been in charge for 7 of the last 7 of the 10 years. Deb's got it. Starting on Sunday. Deborah. I saw this, yeah. So I guess there's a lot of Knicks fans at Philly, the last home game for Philly. So the owner bought 2,000 tickets. That's a sad statement, isn't it? You can't get in your own building. You have to buy tickets to keep the other teams out. I can't remember where it was. It was someplace, I think it was the NHL, where there were so many other fans going to the home games, like other teams' fans, that they blocked them from buying tickets based on so there's some way they blocked them from buying tickets online. Knicks. Is it something with the Knicks? Like they haven't been that good for many years now, but they're following. That building's always packed. It seems like it's a big basketball town. Excuse me. Carolina won't let people outside the immediate area buy tickets. Oh, that's right. It's Carolina. Yeah. A lot of rumors. I listened to XM, NHL on Sirius, and I'm talking about Rob Brind'Amour being the big. Apparently, he's got 1 year left on his contract. He wanted all his assistant coaches taken care of, and the owner. This is not coming from my roommate Don Waddell. I just heard on the radio, and the owner said, "Okay, well, this is what we'll pay them, and that's it." And let them shop around. And I think one of the players left, or one of the coaches left last year, and that didn't sit well with Brind'Amour. So, and the owner he's a hard guy, and he's apparently they think you can say, okay, this is what I'm willing to pay, and then which is a mistake. I mean, there isn't many coaches. I think Brind'Amour's put him in that category now, put himself in that category where he really makes a difference with that organization, the way he coaches. Excuse me. Excuse me. Nashville's done that Blackhawk fans during Chicago Cup runs. Oh, did they? Oh, okay. Yeah. So we did a former Ranger, Kevin Klein. So we did a podcast with him. I think that's when it came out yesterday to confirm that. But I'd never met him before. Jackie DiPiazza had him in for a game. Said, well, he's really a unique guy. And so he is. It was really interesting to listen to his take on things. Like he doesn't, like he's really not a hockey guy. Like he really opened up about his feelings and everything. You know, we talk about it here all the time that especially men, not limited to men, but men really have to be able to talk about their feelings. And I say that, to be honest with you, I'm not as good at it as I should have. Tried it, but but he was really open up about it, and he was a tough, really cool dude, really interesting. Like, and he says himself, I guess in Nashville, he used to call him hippie, and he opened up talking about how he'd be in the locker room before a game sometimes and just start crying, like the stress and everything. So, Bruce Levine, how are you from the Alamo Ranch from Alamo Ranch, Texas? Very cool, Texas. I love Texas. Barry's here. Excuse me. Was he? We're past the 20-minute mark for Tracy Maurice. Oh, she knows now that we're on to her tricks, so now she's going to try and change it up. Yes, thanks, Deb. Klein was yesterday. Yes, we're going to do him again. He's a really cool dude, like a really interesting take on. I feel too that it's still good to hang around with old alumni guys, but got to move on from the game, right? That was a part of our life. You still remember it. And like I said, I sit and watch old games sometimes. I haven't done that before. That's kind of cool watching, especially when I make a good play. I know we joke, but it was James Patrick and I were talking about that, where I make a play. Oh, that's pretty good. And then you make a bad play, you turn it off for everyone because you get mad at yourself. Oh, man. Excuse me. Morning, dude. There's Mr. Ron Jameson. Excuse me. King shooted to bed. Yeah, they didn't do well. And Rob Banks is a good guy too, very intelligent guy. So I hope he doesn't get fired. A lot of talk, but it's not working. 22 minutes in and no dramatic inch. I know, right? That's something. We're almost 24 minutes now, and she hasn't made. You think she's sitting there laying in the weeds, like, oh yeah, I've got these guys wherever I want them. I'm teasing them a little bit, and I'll just jump in there. She can't be that busy. She's independent and wealthy, I think. Like she's, excuse me. So she doesn't need money. Excuse me, work. Oh, goodness. What else you got? Okay, so the Rangers start on Sunday. Next Friday, they've got me in Staten Island a week from tomorrow. Doing some, I'm throwing out the first ball. Yeah, throwing out the first ball. Or when it first pitch, I guess to call it. Yeah. I think I can't remember. I can't remember. I can find out is it a pro game or not. But that'd be cool. I've never done that before. Excuse me. What if I just blocked her? Not let her on the show. Oh, excuse me. Some Kings in this had this name on a jersey. I saw that. Yeah, I saw. And he I think intentionally he stood with his back to the camera while they were interviewing guys with like a pregame or in between periods thing. Excuse me. Tom shit. That was a face. You can play a drum roll when she shows up. Yeah, that's not a flushy toilet. I like the flush toilet. That's a good one, Barry. Very good. I don't know what I've done to get the hiccups. I don't think I've done anything different. I haven't had, hiccups in decades. I feel like I'm about 12 years old. The hiccups, excuse me. And then they come and go. I was trying to sleep with it last night. Excuse me. Oh, God. Have a great day, Tom. My Jay's right. Go get him, brother. Thank you for your service again, you magical veteran. Oh, Jesus. I just guess I'll be officially announced yet. Okay. Excuse me. Is that where you get? I did have a couple of tequilas. Is that where you get? Excuse me. Is that where you get the hiccups from? I've had plenty of cocktails before. I never get. Yes, I heard about the paper bag and everything too. I guess it increases your CO2 level or something like that. Oh God, it's tiring. Excuse me. Hiccups. What else we got going on today? What else is fantastic? Again, these protesters bother. And again, what are they trying to prove? Like, are they going to get some? Are people going to side with them because they're doing something illegal or messing up other people's lives? Yeah, how to get rid of that's right, Barry. Thank you. I might throw in there 2 cents on how to get rid of the hiccups. Oh, that's right. Cinco de Mayo is coming up. I haven't celebrated that yet, but it's coming up. What is today? The 3rd? Second, Thursday. So the 3rd is tomorrow. So it's Sunday. It's Cinco de Mayo. Protesters all on the agenda. Yeah. Okay. And again, I think Ron thinks I'm one of those guys that conspiracy theorists. I don't think, I think my view on it, a lot of people's is that big money's running our country. I don't consider that conspiracy theory. If you do the research on it, apparently they own, like 85%. So one guy in a Reels video seemed like he knew what he's talking about, that they own like 85% of the NASDAQ, stocks. My youngest son, Cody, said, well, that doesn't mean that they're actually in control. Well, I think they've got so much money. Like if a guy head of BlackRock calls up the head of McDonald's and says, listen, here's what we want you to do. We'll pay you millions of dollars to do it. It helps them make money, and then they'll do it. So, excuse me. Yeah. They just, they want to protest. I think it's cool. I think it's cool college protest. I never wanted to protest when I was in college. Although we did protest one game. Practice. I don't know why. My coach told me the story. I forgot about it when I was up there in northern Michigan. About a year ago, I guess that was now. And he had to go on a recruiting trip, so he was out in Vancouver, and we were protesting something. It's just goes through what practice with their helmets on backwards. So, okay, let me see what we got here. These you do to stop prevent hiccups. Breathe in the paper. Pull your knees up to your chest and then forward. Sit by saw that. Swallow some granulated sugar. Oh, bite on a lemon or taste it. Oh, okay. That's some fresh lemons. Deb mentioned holding my breath there. Deb said, hold it for a long time, though. I think she said. She was meant by that. Protesting against something important. One ply toilet paper shouldn't exist. Isn't that true? Although some houses, because of their old drainage system, have to use one ply. The 2-ply clogs it up. But man, wiping with the 1 ply, that's dangerous. You have to take a shower after that. And it might as well have the old bidet thing that producer Tom Smith says changed his life. I thought like climbing Mount Everest or something like that changed your life. I didn't know squirting cold water up your butt changed your life. But everybody's got their own thing, right? Apparently, Tom Smith changed his life when that cold water started going up his butt there. He just turned into a different person. Okay, let me see. Sugar and that melts. Oh, okay. All right. I like the way you say that. Bruce says it with total conviction. It will, and your hiccup will disappear. Excuse me. Sugar it is. I'll start with the sugar. I got lemons as well. Spoonful of peanut butter, Deb says. Okay. Excuse me. A little bit more healthy than the sugar, but I guess we're not doing the sugar every day. Just like the people don't look. Well, yeah, I know. It's the same thing when they boo the commissioners of the leagues all the time. They boo Bettman. People even know why they're booing them. I mean, if they're fans of the game is fantastic now. So there's really nothing to boo him for. So, and he's done that. The NHL's done a fantastic job to grow the game, both financially for the players and for everybody. I mean, going to Madison Square Garden, especially playoffs, exciting. Look in the mirror, you will scare yourself. Oh, Ron, that is just awful, Ron. I thought we were tight. Excuse me. Viagra causes hiccups. Yeah. Excuse me. I know. Took my time getting there. Yeah. That's good poops lately too. Good texture. Good consistency. Not too runny, not too hard. Kind of I don't have to sit there for a long time. Sit her down. Excuse me, comes out. Still staying in the bowl though. I got brand new brushes. Dude, those are nasty, the brushes I got. Had them for years now. Maybe I could just put them in some bleach. Excuse me. Some bleach and water in a bowl. Put them right in there. That'll clean them up, right? Instead of buying a new one. Save the environment. If I ever calls this hiccup. Excuse me. Hiccup cure. Flashback Tom, you're in Philly. Crash check someone. Dave Brown. Yeah. Oh, I'll never forget when I fought him in a preseason game. He's talking to me in the fence like, Tommy, what are you doing? I said, took it easy on you. And I tried to sucker him at the end of the fight, too. I don't know what I was thinking about. Guys in the pen, like the old Spectrum, like the guys are sitting right there in the middle. There's no glass. So you can hear all the interactions, and they were dying laughing. Excuse me. Mixed company, do you call it a constitutional? How did that term come about? Call what, your poops? Oh, we say poop. Oh, excuse me. I love telling my Survivor poop story to everybody. Yeah, kick out of it. Excuse me. W4. There you go, Deb. Now you're thinking. Yeah, get some avocado oil to spray it in there. Be healthy toilet. Do you know apparently like that pan that you spray? It's got some really. It's like what do they call it? Like a spray. Excuse me. Same stuff they put in spray paint to get it out of the can. But apparently, they don't do that with the avocado oil. It's pressurized or something. That's what it says. Who knows if it's true or not? Excuse me. Goodness. So Deb and I got the book done. Big call tomorrow. We'll get it all on Amazon. Oh, I've got to check for Deb to see if we can how much more cost to do it in color as opposed to black and white. So the whole process, it's going to be published on Amazon. Really interesting. You just download the whole book. They don't do anything until somebody's ordered the book. Then they print the book and send it out. So our work is done, and then we're going to split on how much getting that is to cost. So if it costs like, I don't know how much it costs, if it costs like $10 to make or whatever it is, they take $10 out of the whatever we charge for the book, and then there's a split on the rest. Excuse me. So there's no cost to us, there's no money up front, unless we want to buy a whole bunch of books and bring them to a signing. We'll do that. Excuse me. I just got here. Very shelly. Miss your shows used to have Kevin Allen. I haven't talked to Kevin in a while. He went through a tough time. I don't think you'll mind it. I won't get into details, but his daughter was ill. She'd been in it for a while. He got 2 boys, 2 girls, I think. There's one daughter. She back and forth with her illness, and I think took a turn for the worse. And he and his wife, I think, moved. I think she was in Charlotte or something, so they moved down there to be with her. She's married and everything now, but I haven't talked to him. That's bad by me. Bad friend. I got to call him. He's good man. It was getting tough. And I have total respect for him. He's a fantastic family man. It was getting tough for them to show. He had his wife was babysitting the grandkids, and they were. So we've tried to really. I've learned a lot more about podcasting, and try to make it more professional, like the sound better and everything. When I first started, I was like, who cares? It doesn't matter what it looks like, but it does. Because I realize people are driving the cars and different options on podcasts or whatever to listen to. So I'm trying to make it as pleasant sounding as possible. Excuse me, hiccuping is really good. I'm sure a lot of people just love listening to me hiccup. Ron's on a roll today. He's butter. Tom, you're a book, a coloring book. No, it's not a coloring book, Ron. Gonna do another book right away though. I made some good. I made the roasted chicken. There was some. The gravy was excellent too. First time I made the sourdough stuffing. So what I've done is make the sourdough bread, and if ever I get there's some left, and I'm going to get to throw it out or whatever, I'll just cube it up, put it in a bag, and keep it in the freezer, and then just make stuffing. So it's much healthier, right? Sourdough stuffing, mix in saute up some onions and celery, and make my own broth now too. Oh my goodness! Anything so any vegetables they have left over, and they're going to go bad, get thrown out, or I just can't put them in a bag, put them in the fridge. When the bag gets filled up, dump it all into a pot, add some water, boil it for about 2 hours, and it comes out fantastic. You can add a little bit of salt if you want, but that's the thing that if you buy store-bought stock, they put a lot of salt in it, so I try to avoid that. Because again, you can always salt it later if you're putting it on, again, potatoes or whatever. Excuse me, book signings. Yes, we will have book signings. I'll get those all scheduled. Amazing. Let us do it at the garden. That'd be fun. That little lobby there. Listen to the replay of Stefan Matteau scoring the winning goal. They play that over and over. Poor guys that work there. Tom, you were you ever by Chile, or was he? Yes. I think I've told the story. I went up to Long Island where he was doing a radio show out there. And he wasn't, I don't know if he had a couple of cold ones or whatever, but called in, was an Islander fan. And they called in and said, "What's it like to shower with Ron Duguay?" He tried to be funny. And either he didn't hear what the person said or misunderstood. I said, "So what do you think? What do you think about that, Tom? Like, really seriously?" So I was younger too. So I was trying to scramble to get out answer that question. It was just funny, more his reaction that he just did. He just threw it to me. And let me see here. Next book cookbook would be fun. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. Well, there's some things you have to help. You're trying to help other people, so, it makes you feel good to come on and try to, take the center stage. So we'll help her as we can. But I love you, Tracy. Oh, Barry, come on. Ron, good luck at the doctors. Hope you're doing well. Moderation. Tequila, I think you meant tequila in moderation, right? Scott Cooper, what's happening, brother? Scott's working on his fitness out there, walking all the time and everything. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yes, man will be the served man. There you go. Oh, that chicken stuffing was good though too. Oh, roasted chicken. I'm gonna put all my vegetables in the bottom of the pan, like celery, capers, onion, garlic, and then it just sits in all the drippings and everything. Then you take all that out, put it in the blender with a little water and some flour, and dump it back in the roasting pan with some extra homemade stock. So it was all homemade stuff. Oh, excuse me. Well, the chicken wasn't homemade, but excuse me. Sunday. Let me see. Excuse me. Sunny day in lovely Ferndale. Excuse me. Where is Ferndale? It's Ferndale. It's where all the ferns grow. Do you guys have lots of plants in your? I got one plant that's lasted. It's actually my second ex-wife's plant, so it's lasted for years. I water it like let's say 2 weeks. It's the toughest plant on the planet. Moved all over the place. I don't pay any attention to it. Like I said, every 2 weeks or whatever, I put some water in it. Just lived through everything. Excuse me. To serve man. Oh, excuse me. Raining here in Tornado Alley. That's right. Deb's in Tornado Alley. They had to close some national park or something because they had like 400 earthquakes recently. I saw that too. It's funny. Whenever we have an earthquake, it's a big deal. But when you're studying on it, like they have just thousands of earthquakes every year in the North America or all around the world. Good workout today. But so I'm big on the Bosu ball now too, and I'm getting a little bit risky. I could kill myself, but I was using the hex bar to do deadlifts on the Bosu ball today. So that was you gotta be a little careful that you don't fall off. Oh goodness. Let's see here. Your fixation to this was clean toilets, bidets. Sorry. It's true. Right? I'm like a dog in a bone. So I get something in my head there. I can't stop talking about Taylor Swift. See, there's some country star was doing a song She just stands up in the middle of the crowd, so just dancing all by herself with all that spray paint on her face. Yeah, talk about unhealthy. Come on, be a role model. Makeup, ladies. Women are beautiful. You don't need makeup. Excuse me. Big Bad Bruno's MMA match with. Excuse them. Wow, God. Big smoke tonight. Yeah, it'll be a tough game. I mean, if Toronto decides they're going to tape on their testicles, they could win this series still. I think they're a more talented team, but again, I'm just not high on their character of their team. It's funny because they go from Reeves, who, this is what I don't like. Like, you look at successful teams. Look back to the Rangers when they won in '94. Yes, they were tough. I mean, Buka Boom could fight. Olsen, but it was more or less like a mentally tough team too. A bunch of guys like the Adam Graves of the world, Kevin Lowe. Guys are just like, again, it's not necessarily about fighting. It's like showing up and battling, blocking shots. And I don't see Matthews being that kind of player. I don't see Marner. Is it Nylander, the other guy there too? And the three guys are whining at each other on the bench. Like, that's embarrassing. A playoff game, guys are whining on the bench. Concentrate on winning the game. I know, right? That's true. Belches, hiccups, farts. Yeah, why are farts so funny? I'm like that too. Like, just, especially when it's an inappropriate time. Like, there's one guy, I don't know if it's real or not. One guy grabbed the phone like in a Walmart or something like that. The loudspeaker phone, put it to his butt there and farted, and so it goes through the loudspeaker. Maybe I could do that in Costco. I don't think I have a phone like that in Costco. That'd be funny. Felt bad. Yeah, I do have to give people a lot of credit though. We're in as a Costco last week, and a father was in there with his son. I believe he was autistic and was having an episode, I guess you call it. And people were really, I think people were very understanding. Instead of complaining about it or whatever, it was more people I think were like, can we help you at all? And so that was good to see. Because there's nothing the father could do about it. Poor boy was, I don't know if he got overwhelmed or whatever it was. So, let me see. Yeah, I don't get his father helped me so much. Gravy, tough as nails. Yeah, he's a good man. It's funny, when I'd heard all nice things about him, I really didn't know him, and then now I've gotten to know him. And at first, he's so good and so nice. You kind of think, come on, he can't be that nice. It's an act. That's your first human nature, I guess, to think that way. But he is the real deal. He's great. We've become buddies, and we asked him to get on the Full Change podcast, and he just doesn't do podcasts. He's very aware. I mean this in a very good way. He's very aware of his brand and who he is. And he's seen other people, and this is my thought process. He didn't say this to me, but I think he feels like he's seen the other people, like Jeremy Roenick, for example. He got in trouble on a podcast and really hurt his career. And Adam has really, for many years, has built this reputation because that's who he really is, of being this class act. And so to get on, and he knows I'm such a smart ass that when he's joking around or whatever, then yeah. Oh God, silent farts. Oh yeah, God. I think I told the story too. I was on a flight one time. I was in the center seat, long flight too. This preppy guy sits down beside me. He's in the aisle seat. This big man is in the window seat, and the big guy let one rip. And man, it was a silent one. Man, the steak was awful. It's like, you're sitting right in it. There you go. The preppy guy starts looking at me like I did it, and he's like staring me down. And I'm like, what do you want? Stare at yourself, you idiot. And I wasn't going to throw the other guy out of the bus. So, in fact, it was even better that I was sitting right beside the preppy guy. He thought I farted. That was funny. He's just staring at me like he's going to, he's reprimanding me. He's like 20 years younger than me. He's going to reprimand me for, I'm going to rip. Poor guy. The poor big guy, too. You can see, I don't know, sometimes you can't smell your own farts, too, right? So maybe he didn't even know that he'd let one rip. He's a big man, too. I think he might have been in there for a couple of months. That fart there finally came out. Finally worked its way out of there. Excuse me. Must have been exceptional when Graves told Mike Keenan he was going to keep. Oh, I didn't hear that story. Did you really? That's excellent. That's, and I'm not doubting all, Bruce. I just never heard that story. Kind of odd that I can guess Adam. Well, Adam was top when he played too. He would fight. Excuse me. Goodness. Oh, what player did you play against you didn't like, but then met him off the ice and view from totally changed? So a guy that I didn't like when I played against him, like Dave Brown was probably the most is Kirk Gillies, because he's just like, he was huge. He could play. He had this way to like look at you like attack before with his one eyebrow. Then when you meet him, sweetest guy. Just like I'll never forget when he called me up and we were doing a show. I think he contacted me on Facebook, and he was like a little kid. He's like, Tommy, can I go on the show? Because you have this view of Clark Gillies being this monster. Like, what do you think? He said to me one time, what do you want? And then when he called up and then get him on the show and what a sweetheart of a guy he was. And just sad that we lost him. But I was really proud that I got to be friends with him before he passed. But he was, that'd be it. And the guy that I liked that became more of a jerk off the ice. And I got to meet him. You know, the other, that's a tougher one. Someone that I liked on the ice. Usually, I can't remember a guy being like that I liked. And then I was met him. You know, another guy too that I played with out in LA was Dave Taylor. Man, and we were talking. Jimmy Fox and I did the podcast. We were talking about Dave. We call him Stitch Taylor, Stitch, and he was an animal on the ice, nasty, vicious, like stick you and everything like that. Even if there's nothing going on, he would just stick you. Then when we sat beside each other in the locker room for games at the Great Western Forum, and same thing, like just a sweet guy. Like, you know, it was just like he giggled, you know, like he told you a story about Jim McKenzie with the largest penis in the National Hockey League. When I called Dave up, and he was GM when I was McKenzie's agent, and he said, "Is he really that big?" He's like, he's laughing. And I wouldn't do it with other agents, and we were teammates, so he would talk about that with others. But that was funny. Let me see here. Oh, excuse me. Bill Gunther discovered the kind of discovery Adam Graves. Brought little Adam to, let me just give it now. Incredible 11. Yeah, good player. You know, I scored 50 goals too, and I mean, this is a total compliment to him. Like, he isn't the most skilled guy. He wasn't the most skilled guy when he played. He played hard, showed up to games. I remember whenever I think they played Buffalo in game. There's pregame warm-ups, and they're all the two teams get together at center ice there, and they're kind of challenging each other. And he's always one of the guys who's right. If you go back and look at those videos, he's always one of those guys at the front of the pile. We actually had a couple of cocktails together at Jackie's wedding. Got into talking about that stuff and fighting and everything. But no, he's total class act. Like I said, his wife's name is Victoria, I think. Total sweetheart person too. So yeah. Oh God, he gives it to me now. Like, it's like I opened the can of worms right when I started joking around with him, calling him my dad. And I took it easy on him because I was the MC. He wouldn't have had a chance to get back at me at the Skate with the Greats. So I took it easy on him. But oh goodness. Well. What have we got going this weekend? Not much. It's that time of the year where it's just sitting around watching playoff games. So they're going to start the Carolina series. Everybody give me their guess on how many games. I'm saying it's going to go 6. The Rangers win 6 games. But they're going to be hard. They'll be all. I would be really surprised if there's any games where there's a 2 or 3 goal difference. And so that means those 1 goal games, 2 goal games. Go right down the wire. So good hockey. Deb thinks it's going to go 7. You could very well be right. Again, one of the good things they've done here is beating Washington 4 games. Now they get that rest. Remember last year was 2 years ago where they had those 7-game series. And it's great that you win those games, 7-game series, but man, it takes a lot out of you. So especially if you do it like 2 or 3 times in a row. It's fun. It's great hockey. I know, man. I've gotten hooked on watching these old games, playoff games of ours. Man, I love that team. That 80-81 team when we beat the LA and St. Louis. Man, I look at a guy. I forgot what a great team that was. Like a real team, like Mike Allison's, Don Maloney's, Eddie Johnstone, Dean Talbot, Ron Duguay was unbelievable. Like in everything, like score goals, penalty killing, face-offs. Man, he really played well. Carol Bad Day, who we lost. He's that smooth old guy there. Man, he's vicious too. He was really helping me. That was my rookie year, so he was really good. I see a couple times there where we got pinned in our pocket. He could have given it to me, but I think he wanted to try to protect me. So he kind of got himself in trouble because it wasn't like that was a very unselfish player. So he would have passed to me, but I think he looked and said, "Okay, I don't want to put Tommy in a bad spot." That's the way he treated me, where he looked after me. So I felt bad because I mean, again, I'm speculating when I say that. I don't think we ever talked about it like that, but I just got the sense from the way he was playing it. Let me see here. I'd like to see Carolina win and play a game in the Whalers. What is wrong with you, Curtis? Curtis. It's funny how, like, the old yellow jerseys that we had for the Kings, when we had them, like, I couldn't wait to get it out of them. I guess it was kind of embarrassing, but now they're retro jerseys. Kind of cool. Same thing with the old Whaler jerseys. I don't know that they would. I don't know if people didn't like them back then, but they look more cool now because they're retro jerseys. But Hartford. And we go up there to play because it was so close to New York. It was mostly Ranger fans in the building. That was cool. It was a cool place. I liked Hartford. Hartford was like a thriving city back then too. I think it's kind of gone downhill now. All insurance companies left and everything. Excuse me. I believe that's what's happening. All right. So book's getting done. Well, it's done. It's just got to edit it, finalize all the pictures and all that kind of stuff, and be done. So hopefully, maybe it's up to Deb. She's the boss. Maybe next week we get it for sale. We'll see. And then what's Susan going to do? Right? Excuse me. All right, everybody. Kind of a quiet day. Tracy did not show up. So again, what do you think her plan is? Like, what is she like? She's sitting there watching the show now, or she intentionally, like, she wants to prove how much really people care about her and think about her. So maybe she's having somebody else report. Like maybe I was reporting back to her, like with notes. Maybe he's like taking dictation and sending it to her. Like, what are they saying now? Are they talking about me? Are they talking about me? Excuse me. Laidlaw's got the hiccups. All right, so it's either lemon, sugar, peanut butter. Oh my goodness! Hold on, everybody. Hold on. All right, we can't end the show now. No, come on. You really think she was busy with work? I mean, she's so independently wealthy. She doesn't really need to work. I think, again, it's just a ploy. What are people saying about me? Tracy, you ever get the hiccups? Excuse me. I get the hiccups. What about Tracy says? She'll probably say, put the bag over my head. Excuse me. Yeah, Tracy, like, is right. Ira, do you know where she lives? I think she lives like in a big mansion, right, out in Long Island, like a 5-acre estate, pool, guardhouse. Yeah, but you always want me to hold my breath. Excuse me. Okay, I hold my breath. Okay, so I'll wait till you get off the air. Obviously, it won't be much of a show. I hold my breath during the show. Excuse me. Excuse me. I was threw my back out there a couple times. And I felt I'm doing a lot of work on the Bosu ball, working on the core. Oh, I recommend that to people if you're, not that I'm aging, but as you have more birthdays, you can accumulate more birthdays. Really important to keep your muscle mass up. Got to get on Bosu ball. Seriously, the more and more you study it, all the aging that happens, building muscle is one of the best things for it. Not just like it's stabilize you, falling down, easier to burn fat, maintain your muscle mass. All right. So I was going to shut her down here because it's going on, but Tracy Reeves here, really not contributing too much to the show. I'll give her a couple minutes to any kettlebell. Yes. Oh, I'll film this one. That really started a cool exercise. I can do the kettlebell on the Bosu ball as well. Do one-handed kettlebell. So it's go right hand, flip it over to your left hand, swing it. That's really rips up the core really good. So again, the key is when you're trying to work your core is to not like lean over. Like so if I'll do uneven farmer walks. So I'll get a 45-pound weight plate and the handle's not, so hold it there, and then get a dumbbell that's a 60 or 65 pounder. So it's uneven weight. So then you walk up and down hallways, and you got to make sure you don't lean over one way that the heavy weight's on. So you're really trying to maintain that core. So that's good one too. Rips it up. Oh, people look at me like, what the hell is that guy doing? Does the old guy realize he said the uneven weights there? Yeah, I do some stuff. Oh, here we go. What game we going to next week? As Susan has informed us, the schedule is not out yet. Maybe it's an afternoon game. We'll go down on Sunday, the opening game. Dougie DeVito, what's happening, brother? You okay? walking around. Some old guy walking around at Costco. I have never gotten the samples at Costco. Something that just doesn't seem right for there. Like it's like some people go there. I think they go there to have lunch. And they just eat the samples. I don't know what they put in those foods. I was giving Boomer Esiason and G over talking the other day about Ritz crackers. They're never banned in a lot of countries, like even Norway, where the big white-headed goofball was from. And so I sent him a text, and he usually doesn't respond on air, but he did. He says, Tom Lee, let's give me a hard time. He's one of those ingredient guys, they call me. I'm an ingredient guy. So yeah, what's in foods. We should all be ingredient guys. 5, 6. Okay. 3/4. 2/8. 1/4. Oh yes. 9/17. Oh. Oh. 5/6. I don't know what Tracy's talking about. Oh, maybe she means the date. Oh. Excuse me. Yeah, store d'oeuvres, yes. D'oeuvres or store d'oeuvres. Store d'oeuvres. Excuse me. 4/6. Yes, I knew what you meant, Tracy. I knew you thought. Excuse me. Yeah, so Sunday is what Susan Brooks says, right? Excuse me. Sunday, Monday. Susan said it was Monday. Or didn't know Deb said that. Oh, goodness. You got to say all the hellos and everything now. Hi, Barry, Shelley. Hi, Dougie. No. Just so you know, Tracy, I don't want to disclose things. But Barry Shelley was being a little bit hard on you. I can't remember what he said exactly, but there was some little dig that he gave me. So listen, I'm here to protect you. I just want you to know, full disclosure. Susan, that's right. It was Deb said it was Sunday. Because you said, Susan, the schedule's not out yet, correct? Or is that? Well, who knows what you think? You're not like the other kids. Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, hello, Chase. Hope you're having a great day. Oh, yeah, that's what he wasn't like that before. He was digging before. Like he was making comments. Like I think, if I remember correctly, kind of derogatory comments. I believe. I don't like to start trouble, but full disclosure here. Full disclosure. Sorry, buddy. Ron Greshner walked around the other day. Slowly he turned, step by step, inch by inch. What's that from? There's no movie. Slowly he turned. Was it a cartoon like Foghorn Leghorn or something? Speedy Gonzales. Yeah, I think it was a cartoon. Slowly he turned, step by step, inch by inch. That's right. Oh, that's right. So we do not know yet. Okay. But don't they? Well, I guess they do, because I was thinking TV. Do they have a fixed dates regardless of how long the series goes? But drink water upside down. How am I going to do that? I've heard that, but how do you actually do that? Like, go to the gym and hang from one of those hanging things, and then somebody. What's the whole concept behind a hiccup? Like, where does a hiccup come from? I think the gas blockage. Maybe because I've been pooping so good, or the gas down there has now gone up to my throat. Excuse me. Drum roll. Okay, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's what she said. Yeah, chin to chest, drink, jackass. Chin to chest, and drink, jackass. My neck's sore from hiccuping so much too. What the heck is going on around here? What's happening? All right. Well, we're going to have an hour. I don't know how we take this tardiness from TM. Trademark. Tracy Marie. TM. how do we take the tardiness? Do we take it as a lack of respect? Should have used a coma. Excuse me. You want me to have a coma? Oh, Tracy is buddies with Ira. Ira doesn't misspell things so much anymore. I wonder if that was an act with Ira before. Excuse me, misspelling things. What? That's not nice. That's not nice at all. Oh, excuse me. What is like? There's something else was happening. Oh, so we got Kevin Klein on. Our next guy will be Sheldon Surrey. I don't remember him now. He played for the Devils. I represented him. Probably the best looking. I know Henry Lundqvist, a lot of people say he's the best looking hockey player ever. But this Sheldon Surrey, if you look him up, he's a stud. Let me see here. Tracy, end of the place you showed me workout. Looking forward to seeing you in June. Oh, goodness. Hi, Charlie Miller. Oh, gosh. Charlie Miller. Hi, Tracy Marie. She's upset with you now because of what I said that you said about her. So she's ignoring you. No, not yet, Barry. I've been busy working. Even though I'm independently wealthy in a 5-acre estate in Long Island on the water. Sweet. Yeah, I know, right? Yep. Yeah, we're under now. All right, so I'm going to go. So what should I do first? Oh, God, no, come on. He's not, but you're a little bit biased, obviously. I'm not saying Henrik isn't totally handsome, but pretty man. Sheldon's got that rugged, if you look him up, it's got that rugged look to him. Excuse me. Wrong girl, Tom. Ha, ha. I guess that's long. Ha, 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 ha. Or you have like another H in there someplace. You gotta go ha, 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 ha. Or you just go ha, ha. Excuse me. Is it appropriate to have to say excuse me every time after you have a hiccup? I know when you burp, it's appropriate. Excuse me. It's like this excuse me comes out. Yeah, no kidding, right? He's Studley. If you look at him online, I think on Facebook, Instagram, I think maybe it's Instagram. And his wife's gorgeous too. And he'll talk about it on the show, but he went through a lot of stuff, a lot of more drug problems, and really cleaned his life up. Man, it's been amazing doing this show where all the things the guys have gone through, a lot of self-induced stuff too, but he's really just talking to Kevin Klein too about, how, and we've talked about here, that the game is great. Love playing, sacrifice, the pride in playing, all that kind of stuff. But, if you retire from the game at like 35, in my case, 66 now. So it's, you get more time from not playing the game in your life than time you did play. So you got to get on with life. Excuse me. Just burp your way through life. I'm not the rich girl. Must be. Oh, goodness. Sheldon Surrey. He's got that rugged too. He works for Wayne Gretzky now. Wayne Gretzky's got some, but Idaho or something. He's got some resort, and they bring. So Sheldon's based in Vegas, and they'll bring in heavy hitters, and he kind of entertains them to the lifestyle. So I think works good. He's got the beautiful wife. He's a studly looking guy and played in the National Hockey League. Man, he had a big shot too, Canada shot. Good guy. He's got the whole voice and everything going on too. Like he's just walks into the room, and it's the same thing with Henrik. They walk in the room and everybody just can't get enough of looking at him. I walk in and it's like, probably better to have a dump button, burp gas. Well, I know, but it's just nonstop. All right, so I'm gonna sugar, peanut butter. Tracy wants me to do a Norm headstand and drink water. If I can do that. This guy at the gym the other day, I met soccer guy, really good shape. He does these one-arm headstands or handstands. So I said to him, "What are you going to do with Norms?" He's looking at me like, because I really don't know him that well. He doesn't know I'm smart ass him, and he didn't yeah, I think he thought, like, does this guy really know what he just said? Like, he realized that you can't do a one arm or no arm handstand. It's too big. All right. So Tracy's come and gone. Not much of an effort, for us to really, this would be a successful show. Everybody really has to participate. I think everybody really does, except for Tracy, just kind of like when she wants. Oh God! Just hold your breath. You'll pass out. No, I don't think I've ever passed out. They ever passed out? They just have faint something. Remember, I was at a guest over, and I picked her up, and almost I dropped her. I got faint. That was the most like faint, almost like I was fainting, and I dropped her. Oh goodness, she was really impressed by that. But things happen. Hip us next time you have to get up and give a speech. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that'd be awkward, wouldn't it? You're getting paid to do a speech and then do that. What else is happening? There's something else I wanted to talk about. I can't remember what it was now. Something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. Oh God, and we joked about it. But that time where the intern posted there was a plane crash, and he posted fake names of the pilots. Fly too low. Something wrong. Oh, excuse me. Fly too low. Oh, excuse me. Goodness, I said excuse me. I didn't even hiccup there. Let me see. Wait, someone pays you to do speeches? Yes, sir. Excuse me. Yes, they do. Surprise, surprise. Yes. I know when I make a presentation, it's actually pretty good, pretty informative. Usually talk for an hour. I can go for a couple hours, you know that. But try to save some time for question and answers. You try to really do a speech that makes some people think about it, especially younger people. Say some things that maybe you think are a little bit that they hadn't thought about, and then they ask a lot of questions. Let me see. Motivation help right there is as good as it gets. Motivation help right there is as good as it gets. I'm not sure how to motivation to help right there as good as it gets. Oh, excuse me. Yes, they do. Why is that such a surprise, Charlie? It's very good. You see when I do the MC, I'm actually pretty good at auctions too, because I try to embarrass all the people to spend more money. Oh, jeez. I love when Ron Duguay's at an event and I get to speak, kind of ad lib a little bit, and I tell my Ron Duguay stories. I really dress him up pretty good to do when he gave me the great advice, getting only 2 hours of sleep. Oh man, I forgot how good of a player he was, especially early in his career. When I first started playing him in 1980, and he was especially against LA, he was carrying the puck and checking and everything. And I joked about him and Dean Talifas. How the dog? So Jason was hanging out the hood or something like that. How the dog? How the dog? How the dog? Yes. So we're attempting to get Mr. Gretzky. This is actually it wasn't the reason we contacted Sheldon Surrey, or I contacted Sheldon Surrey, but he's working for Wayne now, so I'm more open through that connection because I don't have Wayne's number. I don't think he ever gave me his number. So that'd be nice if we get him, but we'll do something special. We don't. Maybe Tom and I'll just kind of do a recap of. Again, looking back, and how we feel about the podcast now compared to when we started. It's like I really just didn't anticipate that it was going to, have the stories that we did. Some deep stories too. Like if you listen to Kevin Klein, Sheldon Surrey would be the same way. Some a lot of other guys, the things they've gone through. Clint Malarchuk was a fantastic one too. I thought that was really interesting. The one a lot of people really liked the Pierre LaRouche one. That was pretty early. Was it the first one, or I can't remember what it was? We've done 100 shows already, man. That's cool. Help him get rid of the hiccups. Wouldn't that be nice? Like some affection, like Tracy really acting like she had empathy. Yeah, we'll get Tracy Murray on. That'd be good. She can teach me about empathy. I think I'm very empathetic. Oh, excuse me. But I also think that if somebody comes to me with a problem, I'm a guy. I fix the problem. I help them fix it. Like, I think that somebody comes to you and they tell you you got a problem, then you just sit there and listen. And I'd be going, like, aren't you going to help me? I just opened up and told you I got a problem. Yep. Great storytelling. Yeah, he'd be good. He, you know what happens a lot of times too, and it's this is my fault. He's a busy guy. You know, I met him at an event, the charity game a couple of years ago in Long Island against the Islanders, and he's talking about how the kids and now he's got the broadcasting going. So you try to be careful to not pile on with those guys. Excuse me. Yeah, I have limits. Yes, absolutely. You have to have limits. You have to have boundaries. You got to take care of yourself. Got to put the mask on first before you take care of others. Oh, goodness. I ever told a story. Careful, I won't mention names. I had a woman contact me. She's down in Philadelphia, and I just thought of this, but she'd been really through a lot in her life, and I guess she called me just looking for help, really, or just contact Facebook, and she ended up attempting suicide. And why am I telling the story all of a sudden? She ended up she named me as her emergency contact, and I never met her. Didn't even know her last name at that point. The doctors called me one night, told me that she admitted to the hospital, that her lungs had failed, her kidney had failed, her liver had failed, and that I was the emergency contact, and that was the only contact. So now she's in a coma, and I was the only contact they had. So if they're going to make life or death decisions, I would be the one to make that decision. I don't know why I thought that all of a sudden. It's weird. But that was that was very early in me getting going in this little journey that I've been on. So it was I was like, what the heck have I got myself into? So she survived. Not because of me, but doctor saved her. It's been interesting. Yeah, like starting like same thing with the podcast. So, okay. No, I didn't go. I did not go. I don't know if the doctors thought what was going on. Guess you need this guy that's emergency contact, and I said, Doc, I don't know this woman's last name even. So, but it all worked out. To survive about stole that line. Yeah, that's what it was. Yes, is that what it was? To survive. Oh, I thought you were talking about the slowly turn, step by step, inch by inch. Let me see here. Yes, I get. So a neighbor. I did not realize she had serious mental health issues. She had introduced herself to me when I first moved in, and didn't see her around. And she's married with a young daughter, and occasionally I would see police at police cars parked outside her place early in the morning when I'd go for march and everything. So I thought, none of my business. I thought there was some domestic abuse going on or something. So she came to me one day and wanted me to help. And she said she wanted to get I think I even asked her, I said, are you looking to get a divorce? Because again, I thought she was in this relationship where she was getting beat up. So I gave her the name and number of my buddy who's a divorce lawyer. Apparently that woman was going through other mental issues that I was not aware of. And she didn't come home for the night. And her husband got a hold of her phone. And I texted her. I said, and previously I texted her. So he read the text message. He says, what are you helping my wife with? Now, again, at that time, I thought that he was beating his wife. So I said, well, I'm not telling you anything. I'm going to call the cops. And then he called the cops too, because he thought maybe potentially I was behind her not going home. Later that next day, she was wandering around. She'd taken a black bed sheet and wrapped it around her like a toga. And, she had sticks in her hair and everything, and she was staring at my back deck. Then pretty quickly after that, the ambulance came and picked her up. But again, at this time, I still think that she's getting, I don't know what's the thing now, because I think she's getting beat up by her husband. So then police, ultimately, I don't think the police told me what was going on. I don't think they had the ability to tell me what was going on. Another neighbor heard what was going on and explained to me that this poor woman had mental health issues. So yes. So she's married with a daughter. You didn't realize she had mental health. She was married with a daughter. You didn't realize she had why would she have mental health issues? I'm missing that, Charlie. Because she was married and had a daughter. I'm not sure if you're trying to be funny or not. This is a true story. It's not. I'm not telling jokes. So I didn't pick anybody. Yeah, it was. I think because as I've gotten into all this mental health stuff, I don't know, people think that I'm going to help them or something. So, which is fine. I love helping, but again, I'm not a mental health expert. All right, everybody. I don't know how I got on those stories. Yes, I did. Tracy, I told you those stories, didn't I? Yeah. There's some others there too, but there's as we've talked so much, there's a lot of mental health issues out there. Yes, there's well, Corey Hirsch, who's been on our podcast, he's really into mental health too. And we talk some of the stuff, and he says that I'm a target. That from some reason, particularly women with mental health issues, come to me for assistance. All right, I don't know why we got into the stories. I guess it does help though. I want to be careful because I know I'm a smart ass sometimes, but these are serious stories. With people, in some cases, their lives in jeopardy too. So, I don't know if it's appropriate that I told us I was like, no names are involved. So again, let's make sure everybody have a fantastic weekend. Again, make sure it's that 988 hotline, shoulder check, all that stuff. We're helping each other out. Helping Tracy Marie. Well, she's independently wealthy. She's got a 5-acre estate, bodyguards, bulletproof cars, all that kinds of stuff. So she doesn't need help. She's all set. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. And we'll see. Actually, we'll see. We will not be doing our 2:00 show tomorrow with Molly and Mark. Molly's gotten this new job, so her time is really limited. So we're going to see what we're going to do with that show. We may move a lot of that content, just Mark and I talking on the Monday show. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. We'll talk to you next week.